Hello and welcome to mytherycast episode. Wait, wait a second. Mythery, did you change the show notes?
That's great.
Wait a minute. Let's try this
and
again.
we said
Oh,
Mythery couldn't edit the
what is
show
going on
notes.
here?
We were wrong.
Hello and welcome to DDOCast episode 371, recorded live on Saturday, February 21st. I'm your host, Patrick. With me this week we have the Damsels of DDO, all three of them in the house. Batten down the hatches, put on your seatbelts, buckle yourselves in. This is going to be a ride. We'll go around the table here. We'll start with Saba Jade. So hello, Saba.
Hello.
We also have Lessa.
Hey, Patrick, how you doing?
Doing great, thank you. And we also have Mythery with us.
Hi, Patrick. Hello, Titan, wherever you are.
This week's screenshot, Agu watches a couple of purple worms celebrate Valentine's Day. I gotta say, that is great timing on that screenshot. That is mighty impressive. Well done. We like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons online nearly every weekend, and sometimes we talk about Mythery too. You can watch us through Google Plus Hangouts, YouTube, the DDO forums, or from our website at DDOCast.com. DDOCast is hosted by CyberEars, the awesome podcast hosting network. Shows are usually available within a few days of recording. The next show will probably be a recorded show. You can stay updated by following us on our social media pages or our website, DDOCast.com, with our calendar. On the podcast this week, we are going to meet the damsels. We're going to do some impromptu stuff. This kind of got thrown together a little bit at the last minute in its entirety. We're also going to be talking about traps. I'll talk about how to do them, how to live through them, how to send halflings through them, and also be talking about game and community news. But to get started, let's get to know the damsels a little bit. If you don't know, the Damsels of DDO have their own podcast and Twitching. Someone give me some. How can people find you, and what are you guys doing?
Lessa.
No, that's Saba Jade. I'm pretty sure that's Saba Jade that's supposed to answer that question.
I'll wait for Saba.
Lessa spiels it off at the end. We play 3 times a month. 3 out of 4 weeks on Tuesday night at 11 o'clock Pacific. We do a Twitch stream, and then on Wednesday, the following Wednesday, we do a live podcast. And we just play whichever characters we feel like playing at the moment. And next week it's going to be our wolf pack.
Yep. Hopefully we'll get them to 16. I'm ready to level my wolf.
So I want to know, how did you guys all meet? Or how did you ladies all meet?
Do you want to take this one, or you want me to take it?
I'll take it. Well, it was
Okay.
Rentapone.
It was all Ren's fault.
It was Rentapone, yeah. He wanted to play PD with Lessa, and he dragged Myth and I from Argo to do it. And so we're in a static group called the Red Eye, and we kind of play late at night. That's why the guild calls us the Red Eye. And that's how Lessa met me and Myth. And Myth and I have been gaming for a while together. We're real-life friends.
All right. How did you come up with the idea of starting the Damsels of DDO?
Are you going to make me do it again?
No, I'm not going to make you do it again. I was just waiting to see if you were going to talk.
Saba Jade told us we had to.
She pretty much did.
What?
Battle Master Saba Jade is a task master. She will
I don't
tell you to
recall
do
this.
something, and you must do it. And you must do it in a timely manner, and you must do it to her satisfaction, or you will pay the
Okay,
price.
hang on a sec. I don't remember you guys ever listening to me anything I say.
Well, we don't.
When you
We
get, yeah,
don't.
Stop
exactly.
you from saying it.
That's not the point. The point is, she said, this is what we're going to do. Well, I think I was just sort of ready to branch out and do something different, something a little bit more quest-centric. The stuff I do with Samus on the Cocktail Hour is very broad, very light and funny, and most of the times dirty. So I was definitely ready to do something a little bit different. And these ladies, we just sort of clicked together, and just kind of one day, it seemed like 1 minute we were talking about, hey, what if, and the next minute we were making websites and doing videos and posting them on YouTube. I don't know, it was sort of like like I got drunk at a bar and I woke up and then the next thing I knew I was podcasting. What the heck just happened? But I'm loving it. Well, we're eight episodes deep,
Mm-hmm.
and we haven't run out of things to do yet, so that's good.
Or talk about, because we always
Yeah.
say this podcast is going to be really short.
I know, and it's never
somehow-
short.
No.
It's never less than 45 minutes. This
It's
is going to be a
hard
quick
to do
show.
a
No.
podcast. It really is.
Yeah.
All right. When you aren't being a damsel or playing permadeath, what do you do in game?
I have, my main server is Argo. And so I have a completionist over there. I have somebody else working on an epic completionist. I'm in the, Guardians of the Flame guild over there. And I just like building characters and seeing how well they work. I don't really play flavor of the month because I like to see what will this little thing do, or what will this feat do, or what will this enhancement do. So I have weird characters. Myth?
Yes.
Your turn.
I just mostly play my sorcerers. I have a few.
What? You call 20 a few?
I have 3. I used to have 4, but now I have 3. And I used to play a cleric a lot, but I haven't done that in quite some time now. When I first started, I played a fighter. I made a caster, a fighter, and a cleric. And then I was afraid to play the caster and the cleric because I was afraid I would mess up the party. So all I played was my fighter for like 2 years. I'd go in there and beat stuff up, and that'd be okay. It'd go out for me to get up the nerve to try to heal a party.
It's cathartic, isn't it? Beating something with a sharp stick.
It is.
It's very soul healing to take someone else's
You are scary.
stuff with your sword. What? It just is. Come
It's so
on.
healing for you to beat up somebody. Okay.
That's the paladin way.
Yes.
So when if I'm not twitching or damseling or podcasting in a static group on another server, I am always playing permadeath. I play either in the Sublime Permadeath Guild on Thelanis or most recently the PD Halls of Valhalla on the Galanda server. That's it.
Have you been playing over there?
I have. I made 18.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still 1, I think.
But you're alive.
Yes,
That
I'm
counts.
alive.
You count. You're still alive.
Okay.
We sort of just started a new little group with my sister. I mentioned that we just started playing with her. She hasn't played before. And so we call her the baby damsel. And she's kind of learning how to play the game. And so we're all 1 and 2.
You should probably call that adopt a damsel.
Adopted.
Because you making your sister play makes me want to make my sister play, which would be an exercise in patience, not for you, but for me. So I don't know.
We're all
Maybe
being
we started-
reminded what
I
it
know
was
we're all
like
being
to be
reminded what it
new.
was like when we were first playing, and we all 3 have different ways of doing things, and all 3 of us are trying to tell her to do it our way. She's just getting so
Do it like
confused.
this.
Don't let me teach a new permadeath player. That would be bad for
She's
them.
not permadeath.
Hey, go down that hallway. Have some fun. You go first. All right, I got some quick questions that I didn't advertise beforehand. And I think this is like a speed round debate question. It's just for fun here. I want to know which damsel is responsible for swabbing the deck on the ship.
Lessa.
What?
That explains it.
Me. That's why it's so dirty, because I haven't been doing it.
Which
I have better
damsel?
things to do.
Which damsel is the boat pool cleaner?
We have a pool?
I know.
I know. I want to go to the pool.
Me too. Apparently, we don't clean the pool.
We don't clean the pool because we didn't
We
know it
didn't
was
know
there.
All right. Which damsel is most likely to kill an owlbear?
Bonnie Pugh. But
Bonnie
she's not,
Pugh.
technically not a damsel, but she's the one.
Who's the most likely to get lost?
Mythery.
She said it faster
Mythery.
than Mythery could say Lessa.
Mythery. No, Mythery is
No,
always
they get
getting
lost together. They get lost together.
No, if we're together, we're not lost. That's not
I
how
get
it
lost,
works.
and Lessa comes to find me, and then we're lost together.
And then I say, turn towards me, hi, and then I run off.
All right, and finally, which damsel is most likely to go streaking across Stormreach?
No,
Mythery.
Mythery.
It's
Mythery.
probably a toss-up between Lessa and me.
I would never. I wouldn't. Well, lately, a few times. I tell you what, you do something 2 or 3 times, and you're just labeled for
Or
life.
12.
Yeah.
Or you do something
20.
consistently, and you're just labeled for life.
It's called typecasting. All right,
Or truth.
let's get through some game news if we can. There's not a lot to go through, but the Players Council for 2015 was announced. We'll link to that list in the show notes. I know at least 2 people on the list, one of whom's in my guild, so yeah. There was a new Crown of Fire picture. So they're looking at doing an alternate Crown of Fire, which doesn't work. It's essentially the Trampion crown, but on fire, made of flames instead of the crown, which some people really liked, and some people were concerned that plus red guild names was going to lead people to be really confused about who's a mob and not. And there is server downtime on 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. There will be for Update 24 Patch 2, which will largely be improving game performance along with some bug fixes. They'll have release notes on Monday. Bonus days, 30% challenge rewards. Do you ladies run challenges very much?
Not a
Yes.
lot, but I love
So
challenges.
much, yes. Yeah. I make a shopping list, and I'll put the shopping list in my bio, and then I'll go after the ingredients one at a time. I'll need 1,200 of manuscripts, or I'll need 1,000 lava crystals, or whatever. And then I put a little asterisk next to them after I've collected enough of what I need. And last time it took me 3 days. It took me 3 days to get everything I needed. But that was really sort of hitting it kind of hard. I was burned out on
Why aren't we ready
challenges.
to do this?
Because you're not playing on Galanda with me.
Oh, Galanda.
Feeding Halls of Valhalla.
Get on the right server.
I know, right?
I've been trying to. I've got a few things that I'm working towards getting, partly because I'm going to redo my druid as it's going to be 17 druid, 3 fighter instead of 3 monk. So I need new gear since I've been using hand wraps. Not going to use shields and swords and stuff like that. So I've been waiting for one of these for a while, and I'm begrudgingly grinding out Cobalt Island right now. I have the misfortune of I don't really like Cobalt Island, but I'm good enough at it that it's more efficient for me to run it rather than run the other one and then turn in the materials for
Oh,
it.
so you collect twice as much and then you swap them over? I do
Well,
that with manuscripts and scorpions. I hate that one.
no, I don't do it with Cobalt Island because I'm fast. I have a better time to mat ratio by actually doing them. So I kind of have to do them, unfortunately. And that's the one that I always need is the ones out of this Cobalt Island. So there you go. Store news. You can get Heroic Autos boxes through February 22nd. You can also get double bonus points through, I believe, February 22nd as well.
Cha-ching, I hear Lessa buying something.
Shh, no.
Sales this week, you can get 25% off of character slots, stat buff potions, healing items, spell point potions, and questing tools. You can also get 5 Universal Challenge tokens free with the code UNIV19, 1 per account. Those will be useful if I actually ever use them. I'm really bad about using them. There you go. The 130th Chronicle, Yuishi has written a short story inspiring role-playing. Emily 4000 created a cool picture for the Reset Ice Games, and Evennote was making memes and pics in a new blog post. Highlands of Malkir organized a Master Artificer and Lord of Blades teaching raid today. The Heroes of Hidden Folk are also hosting trivia events on Galanda. The event schedule is for Saturday, February 28th at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Time. The guild is Die Hard, a Cannith-based guild that faces challenges as a group and doesn't give up. Be a good name for a permadeath guild.
I agree.
The comment for the week, and ladies, it's tradition to go around the horn and everyone gets to answer this. Can undead check out haunted books from the haunted library, and what would they check out? Anyone got an answer?
No.
That's what I was
Ding,
going to say. No.
I would
What
say
about Charles Dickens? The ghost story. I can't remember.
Oh.
Charles Dickens. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
The Christmas Carol. That's what they would check out. Because, they wanted to read about, they would be wanting to read about themselves.
I would
And
say-
from now, watching Doctor Who, I know that Charles Dickens really got his inspiration from Doctor Who. That's right.
I would say that they're going to check out the Mummy's Guide to Killing Adventurers.
Oh, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Let's see. Fansite news. DDO players had their 20th episode. The Damsels that we're talking about had their 8th episode. Does this say it failed in...
Why does it say
Yeah,
fails?
why does it say fail in the show notes, Patrick?
Hey, I copied and pasted that.
From what?
He copied and pasted it from the Chronicle because it says it in the Chronicle that we
Because it
failed.
says we failed. Well,
Finished.
we finished the quest. That doesn't constitute failure.
Let's see. DDOcast got a shout out for episode 370. DDOCast got a shout out. That's the live stream of me and Lessa playing Permadeath. Also, mythery and Sava, of course, feel free to join in if you're ever around. We're mostly doing that 5 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays. Cocktail Hour had episode 81, making their own hirelings and cream cheese. Was that last week or was that this week? Was that a new...
What?
Episode 81, is that this week or was that from last week?
That was from last week.
Okay.
Yep.
The numbers for me start to meld together.
It's okay.
DDO Gamer discussed various ways to spring forward, basically Abundant Step and various abilities that are similar. And Enrique was pondering Militia's story in a new blog post. And the Mimic Hunt is arriving next week, so stay tuned for that. And they will be celebrating DDO's anniversary next Friday, February 27th on Twitch. It sounds like they'll be on Twitch most of the day, so it should be kind of fun for that. There was also an update video on yesterday on the Friday on YouTube for DDO, community update video. Then the weekly Wednesday was on Wayloon on Cannith, and the Winter Fling was in Madstone and Prison of the Plains. You guys are getting up there. Is that like level 13 to 15, somewhere in that range?
They're more closer to 16 now.
Nice.
Not bad.
DDO Gamer is talking about using XP stones. And then a forum post that I wanted to highlight. I don't know how much of you ladies do in terms of raiding, but Crazy Karen was talking about overhauling raids, and basically suggested a couple of things to try and get more life out of raids, such as increasing XP, adding teleporters for ones in Slayer areas, and adding raid gear and ingredients to end reward lists. I chimed in with some stuff. Some other folks chimed in with stuff like exempting raids from bravery bonus streaks, and raids lasting through reincarnation. And I posted suggesting that that you get mysterious remnants from raid chests, which apparently some people are calling deity dung.
Okay.
I thought it was a nice, funny alliteration. Although the semantic in me kind of questions whether or not they're actually deities, but it was a nice, interesting thing. If you're interested in participating in that conversation, we'll link to it in the show notes as well. DDOcast news. DDOCast, of course, is going. You can win some turbine points there if you send me screenshots of soulstones, like Lessa did of Saba Jade's soulstone.
You're not going to take that, are you?
That was the last show's tagline or title page.
I didn't. I just listen. I don't watch. Now I'm going to have to go listen. But that was just wrong. They were passing notes back and forth saying,
that's not true. I didn't kill you.
I mean,
She thinks I killed her. She's a liar. She's a dirty, dirty liar.
read my blog. It tells you.
She knew what she was getting into. She knew what she was getting. Go up that hallway. There's your trap box. She went up the hallway and she got fried. That's not my fault.
I agree.
That's not the the stone you took a picture of. It's the
It's
one
not?
where I was getting pelted from things from above, saying, "Hey, I'm getting pelted over here. Help me, help me!" And Mythery is standing there going,
She was
"I
just
see you're
standing there,
dying,
just
but I'm
looking
not
at
gonna
you.
help."
I couldn't do anything for you.
See?
In any case, if you have a screenshot of a soulstone, you can send it to ddocast@gmail.com, and if I use yours for the title card, you can get 500 turbine points. You can also get 500 turbine points if you post on the previous video in the comments about which quest I'm going to die in, and if you're right, you can win 500 points as well. And this time around, I actually posted in the show notes from the last episode the projected quests to be running to improve your odds. I'm getting it right. And the other thing to note is I have a guild feud survey out. We'll link to that in the show notes as well. I know Saba Jade took it. How long did it take you to take that?
A couple minutes.
It's not the questions aren't too tough. They're mostly meant for you to answer them kind of with the first thing that comes to mind. So you should be able to cruise through that. But I am preparing for the next guild feud, so if you take that and then tell your friends about it so that they can take it too and get a nice wide sample variety. And I will be drawing prizes from the people who take it, including turbine points and some potion goodies on different servers and stuff like that. I pretty much plan on emptying the prize cache I have currently on different servers with this. So you may get something really cool, you may get something marginally interesting, and you may get something that you can sell. But you can get prizes, so yeehaw. With that, we're gonna.
Otto's box.
I'm not giving away an Autos box.
You're giving away an autos box?
I am not giving
That's
away
so
an Autos
nice.
box.
I could just start a rumor.
I am giving an Autos box away courtesy of mythery. Thank you very much for purchasing an Autos box for me. To give away. As far as I know, so far there's no Autos box. Just so we're clear on that, people aren't getting false advertising idea out there. With that, we're going to talk about trapping. That's going to be our roundtable for this week. So we're just going to kind of give folks an idea of what it takes to be a trapper if you haven't been. Give us some tips on doing that. We'll talk about skills, how much you need, which ones you need to focus on, finding boxes. Apparently, Saba needs some tips on how to run through a trap.
I do.
So we'll do
That
some of
wasn't
that.
true.
So we'll start off. Let's talk about skill points. What skills are important for finding traps and disabling them?
Well, 2 you definitely have to have. Search and disable device. But I also like to put a lot of points to spot. So spot is based off of your wisdom. And that's a passive kind of thing where you either spot something or you don't. You get a little message saying that you spot it. And then search is based off of your intel, and you have to actively search for it. And then when you find it, you use intel to see if you can pick the locks for disabling the device.
Anyone happen to know what the actual max disable is these days? I was going to look it up, but I didn't.
You mean in the highest quest out there? It's in the 120s or something, right?
I was wondering what the theoretical max is, but...
Oh, to get? I don't know. I don't have anyone close to it. I
The
think my
important
best
thing-
rogue has about 100.
The important thing to know with disable is you get a die roll.
So does that
I don't
count your
think they-
die roll? I mean,
Yeah. So spot and search, at least, I'm not sure if they changed it, but I don't think they did. It's just your basic score.
Right.
And then you either get it or you're able to get it or you're not. Disable device is actually you roll a d20. You also need tools, which is important to note, which can give you bonuses as well. You can get up to +5 thieves tools, which will add a further +5 to your skills. So you get you can get up to you get +1d20 plus up to 5 from tools, just from those two things right off the bat. How much should you have? How much trap skill do you recommend?
Every time I level up, I put a point into all of those: spot, search, and disable device. And then I have the best plus gear that I can have, depending on the level I'm at. And depending, it's also depending on the server whether I can get really good gear. Because I know on Thalanis, when we're doing our PD group, it's really tough finding gear on Thalanis. So my trapper was a little behind. She might have had +7s when she should have +9s.
What is the highest thing? Is +20 or?
There's a few items that you can get +20, but they're fairly rare and they're named gear. I think as far as random stuff goes, you can get up to +15s.
Right.
You can theoretically get +15 augments, but those are a lot harder to find. I don't think you can purchase them. You have to find them, and you then have to slot them in their minimum level 28, whereas the items are lower minimum level for +15s. You can start wearing a +15 item 13, level 13, somewhere in there. 13 or 15, somewhere in there.
I know the spy hunters, the spyglass, right? I think that's level 16 to get +15. For spot, at least, in the search.
That has a couple things on it, too, though.
Right.
From the Cove. My personal direction for, at least for search and disable, if you intend on doing traps, get as much as you can. Max the skills out. I generally try and keep an item, if I'm not wearing one consistently anyways, I'll try and find an intelligence 6 item, or if I can't find that, Fox's Cunning potions, which really help. Heroism potions or greater heroism cookies or scrolls are good ways to boost as well.
Bard songs.
You can use Bard songs, both the skill song and the +2 stats song, which is an epic one. You can also use Recitation is a cleric divine spell, which gives plus to skills, which is another option as well. I think you can get
Pots.
Yugo pots, lasting potions, any stat pots. It's a 2-for-1. You have to increase your stat by 2 to increase your skills by 1, but it's still doable.
Right.
There's also rogues have access to a skill boost. I think artificers do as well, which is an action boost that raises your skills, which you can also use as well.
Plus they have the enhancements that are they're not a clicky action boost. You can take them and they're passive. So I always, if I'm having difficulty, I take those enhancements until I get really good gear.
And those are nice because you can switch them out too if you want to.
Yeah, I swap enhancements all the time, so that's not a problem. There's also the Find Traps scroll that you can get in the marketplace.
Or I think the Divines can actually cast it too.
Yep, if they have it.
Speaking of finding traps, you need the feat Trap Finding to find traps that have a search DC of higher than 20, which is most of the entire game. And it's not a feat that you can take either. You have to get, is it 1 level rogue or 1 level artificer?
Yeah.
It's level 1 or not?
It's level 1, yeah.
So if you want to really go to town with those, you gotta get that. Otherwise, you won't be able to find them. I would also say on the topic of skills, if you can't keep both search and disable, maybe you're doing some cross-classing or something like that, search is more important than disable device. If you can't find it, you can't use disable device. And you get a little bit more leeway with disable device because you do get the D20 roll. You might blow some stuff up. If you can, when you do a disable check, there's basically 3 possible outcomes. You succeed, you fail, or you critically fail. If you critically fail, you blow the box up. It does fire damage to everyone in the vicinity, acting like a trap, and you can't disable it anymore, which can be a bit of a bummer, particularly if you have to run through it. This pretty much covers skills. Do you ladies have any tips for finding boxes?
Yeah, if you don't have the spot to find your trap, you just send a halfling down the hallway, or Shamgar. Shamgar is excellent at spotting traps. Just running them, doesn't care. So, somebody to trigger the trap for you, so you know exactly where it is. There, that's my tip. Saba Jade's the rogue in our group, so we are always making her be the rogue
Not
too.
anymore.
Yeah.
Mythery is soon to be the rogue.
Ooh. But I'm talking about like the actual box, like finding where the box is.
Technically not a rogue.
Well, if you played the quest, you're going to know where a lot of the boxes are. If you've done the quest many, many, many times, you know where the boxes are. So just stand close to where you think it is and do your search. If I'm not unfamiliar with it and I know there's a trap, I'll do the mini step and I'll step search until I actually get the box.
There's also, if you have the spot for it, the spot icon will pop up if you're either in range of the trap and or the box. So sometimes you might like find part of the trap, but not the box. And then if you run through the trap, you'll suddenly get another search or another spot icon, and then you'll be able to find the box on the other side of it. Now, the other thing to say is they added a couple years ago a little bit of a laser sightline to show you which direction the box is, which is really handy.
I think that's great.
Yeah, it was a little cheesy, but it's really helpful, particularly if the box happens to be behind you. Because when you search, you actually search in a 360-degree radius. Or sphere, actually, because you can search up and down as well. And I will note that some traps have more than one box. Devs are clever that way. And sometimes they're around corners. I did, in fact, kill a party member that way in Vaughn 4. The lever with all the spike traps. I didn't realize there were two boxes until after somebody died.
I think every trapper has done that at one point, right? Killed somebody.
Right, Lessa?
Apparently she's not giving us the pleasure of a comment there.
Oops, I've been talking this whole time. Sorry.
you haven't?
I have had the pleasure of killing mythery. It was in Made to Order. The traps are on the floor. And in that life, I was the rogue. And I couldn't figure out how to disable it. So I thought, well, jumping up and down on top of it's probably the answer. And you know what? It wasn't. Because he killed mythery.
I could not get away. I come in the room, a door shuts behind me. I'm trying to back up. I'm flat up against this door. Boom. It's terrible.
I couldn't understand why everybody was yelling.
We were all yelling because she tried to disable it by jumping up. She kills mystery, and then she decides to try jumping up and down.
And again. And again.
It's a great night.
So we haven't had Lessa be our trapper since.
Nope, not since.
Let's talk about getting through traps, because one, sometimes you don't have someone to disable them, or two, they are of the quality of trapper apparently as Lessa is and Made to Order, and don't know how to disable it, or sometimes the box is just on the other side. So let's talk about what are your tips for actually getting through an active trap?
Always have jump.
Jump is handy. Haste is handy. There's always a way to get through it if you look at the trap. I'm not a Zerger kind through a trap the way some people are, but I like to see if I can jump from one place to another without getting hurt.
Yeah, most of them are timed, so you can...
Right.
Particularly ones you actually have to get through.
Right.
They usually have some sort of timing feature. I would say some other things you can throw on yourself. Resist energies for energy traps. Stone skin for physical traps is a good one. Artificers who don't naturally get evasion, like rogues do, which can be a bit of a hindrance, can cast the energy bubble that reduces damage by 25%, which is a really good option. Temporary hit points.
Myth is going to be an artificer in our life coming up right now.
What did he say?
The Artificer Radiant Force Field, that's the name of the spell. Which reduces damage by 25%. It's also great, oh crap, button for a spell if you're taking a lot of damage for some reason or another. See, those are good ones.
There's an oh crap button.
For Artificers, that's their...
She's looking on her computer now.
I'm looking for it.
I don't see it.
I'm
Um,
missing my grab button.
let's see, other things. Abundant step and other things that make you leap forward can be handy to get through traps quickly. Sprint boost if you need them. I like temporary hit point buttons. Rejuvenation cocoon can be a handy one if you have it. I usually keep aid potions around just for instances where I know I'm going to end up running through a trap if I have them. Pretty much anything that increases your hit points and your reflex save is pretty much a good option. Although you
And
should note that some are not always reflex saves. You were going to say, Saba?
having everybody else in the party have you in focus orb so they can spam heal you as you go through. I like that one.
Also a good option. Let's see. Let's talk about trapping gear. Do you have any favorite pieces of trapping gear?
I like the stuff out of the Crystal Cove, the spy glass. When the Crystal Cove comes around, if I'm going to get a new trapper, I farm it until I get all different levels of it. And I also like the spare hand out of the house seed challenges for leveling, because that will give you disable device and open lock, whereas the spyglass gives you search and spot. And then you get into epic gear, and it's a little different.
There's armor that comes out of the quest, the Medusa quest, that has search and spot on it for like level 10. It's really nice. So you don't have to like have it on your goggles or whatever.
There's also the manual of stealthy pilfering,
Yep.
Which is at 100 halls, which is a pretty nice piece of gear.
Yeah, I love that for epic levels. That's great.
You can also, I want to mention shroud items because you can get exceptional +6 to skills for different stats on shroud items as a tier 3 option. You get a +2 at tier 1, +4 at tier 2, and a +6 at tier 3, and they don't stack anymore, so you can do 3 different skills depending on what you're making. There's also a couple other pieces of gear that have those options on them as well. And of course, anything you find with a stat boost is good for all of that stuff. Les wants to talk about trap making.
Like yeah, and I gave you a link. Not very many people talk about this, and so some people. I talked to a new permadeather just yesterday, who had no
It wasn't
idea.
me, just for the record.
No, it wasn't you. He had no idea that he could make traps, and I said, well, you can make grenades too, and he got very excited about that. So whenever you reach level 4, either Artificer or Rogue, you're going to start collecting traps from different trap boxes, and different traps give different kinds of traps give different trap parts. And my advice is to go to the wiki, /trap making. There's a whole page on it on the different things you can make. And I've made all kinds of different things. I've made web traps, and I've made hypnotism traps, and autos irresistible dance traps, and I've made force grenades. Those are my favorite. And fire grenades, and all sorts of other things. And these are just kind of fun. It's just for fun stuff. They work okay.
I tend to set traps more when I'm soloing than when I'm in a group, because groups wait.
Because groups don't have the patience for you to go up and set the trap, and then there's a significant cooldown on the trap before you can set another one, and then in your enhancement tree, there's actually I can't remember which. Maybe Saba Jade knows which tree it's in for the rogue, where you can actually increase the DC of your traps. You can make it even with the level of your disabled device, because I think it starts out at only half. Like the DC of the trap that you're setting is only half of what your disabled device skill is, and you can raise that in your enhancement tree. So that's something to think about, something to consider if you're going to be a rogue or an artificer. Why not make grenades and throw them in someone's face? Why not? Because fun, right? Grenades are fun.
There's also, we should mention too, there's noisemaker ones, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, those are great.
Great for soloing. If you want to sneak around some stuff, you can set one of those and kind of go around.
If you set a web and then do a noisemaker, you make them go through the web, and they get caught in your. And that's in the mechanic tree, by the way, the enhancement where you improve traps. So each time you put a point into it, it can go from whatever the default is up to 100% of your disabled device skill instead of 50%.
So you mean
Just-
like make a net trap and then
A web trap. So if you place web down and then do one of your noise makers, they'll come toward the noise and they'll get caught in the web trap.
cool.
Should also mention too, we kind of mentioned it when we were talking about skills, but if you have higher intelligence, you get more skill points. Humans also get a bonus skill point. You get one skill point for each of your intelligence modifiers. Not the score, but the modifier. You get an extra skill point every level. And we should also mention too that if you're going to do multi-classing and splashing, take Rogue first, because at first level you get 4 times your level worth of skill points, as opposed to just getting fewer every level. So you end up with I remember off the top of my head, you get a lot more skill points by taking Rogue at your first level than if you were to take that first level Rogue at a different point in time. And be mindful of cross-class skills. Most classes you do not get disable as a class skill. Some of them you can get search as a class skill or spot. But if it's going to be cross-class, it costs twice as much to level up. You can still max it, but it costs twice as much. Anyone else have anything they want to say on trapping before we move on?
I don't think so. Be a rogue. Be a halfling rogue. They're the best.
If all else fails, send the halfling barbarian first.
That'll work. They do get that evading trap skill, right? Rogues and barbarians every 3 level get trap sense. So they get reflex saves versus traps.
It's kind of a Zerging running joke that there's 2 ways to find a trap: the rogue or the trapper, or the barbarian Zerging ahead, finding all the traps for you. So, just to say though, no halflings were harmed in the producing of this podcast.
Just a bunch of insulting.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hurt. Salveth has a complex now.
I didn't used to. I need to join that halfling guild.
I can't remember the name of it. It's Jeff's guild.
Right.
Jeff has a halfling guild on Solana. Let's see. We're going to move on to lightning posts, and there's a couple people wrote in. Alan wrote in, said he wanted to take a second to comment concerning the DDO community. He's found our games community to be extremely fun to participate in. As you guys mentioned, people can participate in the community through the forums, reading, commenting on blogs, listening to various podcasts, being involved in Twitch TV and YouTube channels, and social networking sites. But other ways players can stay involved by being involved in their own guild forums and websites, as well as participating in various contests that pop up. He's talking primarily for contests like the weekly screenshot of the week. You can also host a PhotoBucket account and other places for picture sharing as well. He did want to take a second to comment specifically about blogging. He's found blogging to be extremely fun and enhancing to his gameplay. He does admit that he was nervous about his first set of blogs, but the more he wrote, the more fun he had, and the blogging community for DDO is full of very fun and active folks who are very welcoming. So you generally have fun blogging about questing runs and what he encounters during the game, and crazy builds, and making some fun character journals. It's a really fun thing to do. In any case, he recommends you get involved with the community. It does make DDO more fun. I can say blogging was a lot of fun for me when I had time to do it. Now I do a podcast, and that takes up the time instead. Let's see. WillowX2112 says, I really enjoyed the episode this week. This is about our DDO debates episode last week. He has one comment about keeping a raid counter after TR. He feels like the romantic notion of old school is not applied to the game anymore. The game has changed, and what worked a couple of years ago does not work now. In the past, it was very easy to complete 20 raids. The reason was that you were stuck at level 20. There was nowhere else to go for the character. Whereas nowadays, the game's different, and instead of playing alts, the game drives players to focus on making one of their characters really good and not focusing much on their alts. Players want to get their epic past lives done. By the time they can do a second, third one of the raid, they are 2 levels above and looking for the next one. And when they cap, they quickly epic reincarnate. The players don't wait as long as they did before. He votes for keeping the raid completions on true reincarnation, which is a good one, a good point as well. And lastly, Livmo on the forums was also commenting on our adventure pack debate. And he mentioned keeping an eye out for sales for cheaper packs and also the marketplace specifically, where you can, particularly around Black Friday and Cyber Monday, get some really great deals on some adventure packs that way as well through the Menace to Underdark packs or the Shadowfall Conspiracy packs and other various packs you can pick up for $. They're not, you can't get use Turbine points on the market, but you can get some stuff there. The survey question for the week, and this is appropriate for this group of guests. What are your favorite builds when comic relief is your desired playstyle?
Paladin.
Rogue.
Say Paladin again.
Paladin.
I double dare you. Can't believe you.
Comic relief, as in horrible at playing the build, would be any type of healing class. So cleric, favorite soul, because I'm just terrible at it.
Which she's playing in our little group with her sister.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bring your own heals
Learned
then.
the hard way.
Sword swinging favorite soul. Yeah, I keep having to yell at her because she keeps trying to heal me. I don't understand it.
She's a little confused because her name is Saba the Paladin.
Yeah, no. So that's actually her comic relief build. Now I understand.
Now you get it.
No, for me, it's always one of my Lassades. I have a human that I play, and his name is Lessad Venturous, and if you put that all together, that means less adventurous. And he, whether he is a swashbuckler or an artificer or some other type of cleric or whatever, he is the same guy. He owns every bar he walks into, and he will always have the fact that he was an alternate for the Stormreach Olympic swim team in 2008. So, there you go.
Not
That's
sure
my
how I
point.
should feel about that,
Yeah.
considering that's the character you're playing with.
I know, with you.
Didn't he die in the Crucible under the water?
He died many times with you.
I always think she was
Yep.
pointing out that swim team person couldn't make it
Yeah,
through the water.
the guy that was the alternate for the swim team couldn't
Didn't hold his breath.
survive the swim. Oops. I did say he was an alternate.
Now, I don't know if I don't really go for I don't really have a comic relief build. I kind of play everything, so and I'm pretty decently good at least all of them. So I don't really have a comic relief one. Usually, if I'm in the mood for comic relief, I'll convince people to do things they probably ordinarily shouldn't, like standing on the door over the spike pit in Prove Your Worth on Epic Elite, or running down hallways that look like they should obviously have traps in them. That's usually how I get my comic relief out of it.
Did you know, Improve Your Worth, that little outcropping with the spike pit isn't really there? There's a little, as you're
We have
looking
video
down,
of that, actually.
as you're looking down to
There's
the
a little-
right, there's a little.
There's a little cog sticking out of the wall there. We told Saba to stand on it, and guess what happened? She didn't. She fell right through it to her death.
She was mad at us.
Yeah, she was pissed after that. She
Well,
was
I think they were in cahoots again. I think they were in cahoots before I got there.
Looked
And
like
so
a
this
place to stand.
Don't worry,
You know-
Saba. I'll get Lessa back on the permadeath stream for you a few times.
Good.
rude.
Rude. Take a picture of her soul stone, please.
No.
I'm mostly waiting until I get the capacity to res on my paladin before I actively try and kill anyone.
So what level are you guys right now?
5. We
Yeah,
just
we're
ran through
5.
Waterworks last time.
You can probably join us with one of your little babies in Sublime.
I did almost get somebody else killed, and Lessa yelled at me for that.
I did have to take him. I had to take him aside and take him to school. Get in the corner. Think about what you did, Shamgar.
That's how
Stop
you
that.
run Bringing in the Light. You run in, pull the lever, smash the stuff, and run out the door.
And then the poor
Why you gotta
third guy
twist
that's with
up
us
to
is
fight?
is a true permadeather because he's back there trying to kill all the aggro that was chasing you and didn't leave the quest. Oh, I
I
felt so
said
bad.
run away, and then I went out the door. Said run away. Is it because I didn't do the song? Run away. Run away.
I think, yeah.
It's 2 straight Monty Python references in the stuff I've been doing, just for the record. Yeah, Lessa didn't get that one last time.
Yeah, nope.
The piston engine. Been shopping. What'd you buy? A piston engine. Something my dad always quoted. All right, we're gonna close this show out. This show can only contain so many hijinks. Before we go, go down the line. What do you guys got going on? Plug your Twitches, your Twitter feeds, and all that stuff.
Oh, we let Lessa do that. Go ahead, Lessa.
What?
Go. You know you have it memorized.
Lessa, go. Actually, I don't. But I'll do the best I can. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I'm at Lessa. Sabajade is at Sabajade, SAHBAJADE, all one word. And mythery is at mythery1. And Patrick is at DDOcast. Or you can send him an email, ddocast@gmail.com, right, Patrick?
That is true. Yes.
Did I tell you I looked up the guy that took mythery?
Really? Who was he? What did he do?
Oh, it's terrible. He's got 0 followers. He's following 11 people and has tweeted 8 times.
So he's camping your name,
Yes.
basically. You need to work something out.
I need to blow him up.
And I think the Damsels are back at it with this Tuesday, right?
Yes,
This
we are.
Tuesday, back at it, heroic questing with the Winter Wolves.
Back in that chain again, the harbor chain.
Back. Oh, yeah. We got to go to the fashion show.
We are going to fail again.
So I'll say thanks for everyone for listening to the show. Thanks for the Damsels for joining me tonight. And thanks to other DDOcast contributors. Thanks to Turbine and Wizards for making the game. Thanks to Cyberbears for hosting the podcast. You can hit us up at DDOcast.com for our show notes, our calendar, previous shows, swag, other fun stuff, including pictures of Saba Jade's Soulstone. If you want to be a part of the show or just say hi, you can email us at DDOcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media and follow us for the latest cast updates. Our closing tip for the week comes from Hereticus. Get a thrower with as many procs as possible. Great for sniping and pulling. So until next time, may all your attack rolls be crits, all your chests level appropriate, have fun, and don't forget to stay safe with the traps. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to also stop by and do our DDOcast Guild Feud and let other folks know about it.